T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go Falcon, go MTG-S1.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
And propulsion is number.
We've just passed 30 seconds and counting. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. In just a few seconds...
Falcon 9 power and telemetry are nominal.
Amazing call out there. Everything is nominal. Great to hear. In just a few seconds, we'll throttle the engines down.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Great call out again. We'll throttle the engines down in preparation for max Q, a period of maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Now we should be hearing that call out for max Q in just a few moments from now.
Max Q.
Amazing. So we just heard that call out for max Q. The rocket has just passed. It'll experience the greatest mechanical stress in flight at that point. The rocket typically needs to go 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and get into orbit. You can keep an eye on the Stage 1 telemetry on the bottom of your screen.
Now we're going to have several...
Back in flight chill.
Good call out there. We're going to have several events coming up in quick succession, and we should hear all of those called out by Mission Control, starting with main engine cutoff, or MECO, then stage separation, SES1, and lastly fairing separation. MECO is where we shut down all 9 M1D engines on the first stage. Stage separation is when the first and second stages of Falcon separate from one another.
And second engine start 1, or SES1, is when we will light the MVAC engine on the second stage for the first time. Less than a minute later, the fairing will then jettison from the second stage as it's no longer needed to protect the payload once we're in space. So keep an eye out for these events happening back to back. It's all coming up in about 10-15 seconds from now. Just waiting on
MECO.
that. There's that MECO call out they were looking for.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
And there you heard and maybe even saw those events that happened back to back, which again were MECO, followed by stage separation, and then SES1. And in just about 20 seconds from now, we'll have fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Amazing view there of fairing separation. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we will be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves once they fall back to Earth, and they'll be taken to shore by our ocean recovery vessel, Doug.
We're approaching just about 4 minutes into today's mission. At about T+6 minutes, you should see on your screen first stage's entry burn. To start the entry burn, we're going to relight 3 M1D engines, starting with the center engine, known as E9, followed shortly after by E1 and E5, which is similar to pumping the brakes to slow down the vehicle as it passes back into Earth's atmosphere. We need to slow down to reduce re-entry forces, which then helps us recover and reuse the first stage. During that entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but we still are moving very fast. This causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases.
Both vehicles are following a nominal trajectory.
Great call out there, still moving nominal. This causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, also known as the rocket's plume, which deposits a layer of soot on the vehicle's surface. That soot comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses, and with each flight, that soot builds up a little more on the outside of the vehicle. Oftentimes, prior to launch, you can see that soot from prior flights on the first stage.
Now, just as a reminder, the second stage of our Falcon rocket is on the right-hand side of your screen, currently taking our payload to orbit, and on the left-hand side of your screen is our Falcon 9 booster, which is going to be making its way back down to Earth. This booster is flying for its 9th time today, having previously supported NASA Crew 9, RRT-1, Firefly Blue Ghost Mission 1, FROM-2, Sirius XM-10, and 3 Starlink missions. You can keep an eye on the telemetry of both stages at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen for the booster and the right-hand side for the second stage. Coming up in just about 20 seconds from now, we should be hearing the call-out for the entry burn of the Falcon 9 first stage, which, as a reminder, is on the left-hand side of your screen.
Stage 1, entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And good call out there for entry burn startup of the Falcon 9 first stage.
Stage 1, entry burn shutdown.
And great call out there for entry burn shutdown of our Falcon 9 first stage.
Great to hear. One of the most iconic things about Falcon 9 is its reusability. It's key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, which enables more investments in critical scientific research. The Falcon 9 first stage that is supporting today's mission is performing this entry burn for the 9th time.
Now, the Merlins on the first stage are optimized for sea level, and these achieve 190,000 pounds of thrust each during ascent and descent. At liftoff, Falcon 9's first stage has thrust greater than 5 747 airplanes at full power. And the MVAC engine on the second stage, which has a much wider nozzle, is optimized to 220,500 pounds of thrust in vacuum.
In a little over 30 seconds, the second stage Merlin vacuum engine will shut down.
Stage 1, entry transonic.
There's that call out there. And after that, we will start our landing burn on the first stage.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance. Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1, landing burn.
And good call out there for the landing burn start on our Falcon 9 first stage.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy. Stage 1, landing confirmed.
And there's that call out of landing confirmation for our Falcon 9 first stage. As a reminder, this was the 9th launch and landing for this first stage, which previously launched NASA Crew 9, RRT-1, Firefly Blue Ghost Mission 1, FROM-2, Sirius XM-10, and 3 Starlink missions. We also heard a call out for nominal orbital insertion.